Hey community, I'm Selena.
I'm Marissa.
And this is Abundance Hope Center, Just Vlog. Today we are talking...
It's Just Look.
Just Look Vlog. I was a little too excited for that one. Today we are talking about grants, Black-led organizing, and just the mess that is the city of Seattle right now.
Not just right now, but yeah. So we got onto this conversation when I actually saw a Twitter thread by Divest SPD, and it was basically shining a light on Seattle Foundation's giving practices and how they give to the Seattle Police Foundation. So super on brand, right? Especially with the defunding Seattle Police Department. We want to revert those funds into Black-led
Abolish police, invest in community. Abolish police, invest in community.
We're not at a protest. So Selena just had her own mini protest right there. But yeah, so super on brand with defunding Seattle Police Department, and really all the police departments, because they're inherently violent and terroristic. Is that a word? To the Black community, period. So I saw this Twitter thread by Divest Seattle. I'm just gonna go ahead and y'all can see it. It's on Twitter. Divest SPD. Follow them on Twitter. So this Twitter thread basically goes through Seattle Foundation's funding practices. And for it, we know Seattle Foundation gives grants to organizations. They're always wanting to give social justice grants and grants for organizations that claim to have a focus in efforts for Black and POC communities. But this thread was super enlightening because, first of all, not only does the Seattle Foundation give a lot of money to the Seattle Police Foundation, but they give more to the Seattle Police Foundation than they give to the libraries or to Parks and Recs, which is like astounding. They're giving almost twice as much, actually. Come to the thread. Go to the thread. I'll actually, in the comments, I'll post the link to this thread on Twitter. But yeah, Seattle Foundation is fucking up with their funding. And we have our own experience with Seattle Foundation, being that we are a Black-led organization and we apply for grants. We apply for so many grants
from everybody, and I don't even...
So many grants.
So y'all know I don't believe they're about to fund us about this oppression that they benefit from, but we still apply.
So many grants. And Seattle Foundation, to this day, I do not believe has given us any grant. Every time we apply for a grant with them, we do not receive it. Obviously, as I just said, we also don't receive any feedback as to why we were not given the grant.
Well, the thing is, like, we're not the only ones. 1%.
Yes.
1%.
Very startling fact. 1% of Black organizations receive funding. This is not just in Seattle. This is not just in Washington. This is literally broad across the nonprofit industry in the U.S. So this is really crazy. We only receive 1% of funding as it is, and then obviously we can see from these findings that the Seattle Police Foundation is receiving quite a bit from Seattle Foundation, more so. So let's go into how much they give to Black-led organizations, or equity-focused programs is how they say it. So this isn't even
starting to twitch,
right? Because this doesn't even like focus in on the specifics of Black-led and Black-founded organizations, just ones that claim to do equity work. So Seattle Foundation gave more to the Seattle Police Foundation than it did to all KC Equity Now groups combined. So they give 11 times more than they did to the East African Community Services, 36 times more than Nurturing Roots. Are you serious? Wow, the audacity. And then 40 times more than WABLOC. These are all organizations in the Seattle area right now
that are
Black-led and have amazing services, community services that are relevant and are actually given to them by the community that they serve. So astounding, right? Seattle Foundation has given none to Abundance of Hope. So they've given 100% more to Seattle Foundation than they've given to Abundance of Hope.
If you want to throw us in there as a Black-led organization as well.
Right. So, wow, that's crazy. And not surprising, pretty sure this is the head of Seattle Foundation, and he is a bald white man. So less emphasis on the bald, more emphasis on the white man who is controlling funding going to nonprofit organizations from Seattle Foundation. Seattle Foundation is massive. They have millions of dollars that they distribute from donors to organizations. And the fact that they've been giving most of that money to the Seattle Police Foundation,
who actively oppress our communities.
Actively oppresses our communities and actually make it harder for organizations to come and provide services to their youth, or for us to use, but to the community, because like, yeah, so
it's disgusting.
It's wild.
It's disgusting.
Now, on the other flip side of that, Seattle Foundation is not the only one who gives grants in the Seattle area. There's also King County who gives grants.
Yeah, King County was actually who I was thinking about when we said that we were going to talk about our experiences with grants. Like, in my opinion, no one has wasted Black-led organizing time more than King County and City of Seattle.
I was gonna say City of Seattle. Like, and when we say City of Seattle, we don't just mean through grants. Like,
the council members.
They have access to funds and to monies. We've had several council members. As you all know, we established in 2017. So right out the gate, we know the plan that we have for the community. We know what we want to do. We know our goals. We know when we want to reach them. We went to every single Seattle council member in 2007. If they were 17, if they were a Seattle city council member in 2017, we reached out. Abundance of Hope reached out for support. We reached out just to get the word out that we were out there.
Yeah, just to come talk to them and say, hey.
We wanted to come talk to them, every single one. Some of them didn't even reach back out. We reached back out to Mayor Jenny Durkin. So many times we reached out to this woman. So many times we saw her in person, walked up to her to get a meeting with her. This woman avoided us like the goddamn plague while she was on her endless search for holistic youth programming. At the exact same time, we were literally, I kid you not, literally in this woman's face as she was saying that she was looking for holistic youth programming. And we came up to her and talked to her about holistic youth programming, and she would not meet with us.
Literally in 2017.
Shout out Jenny Durkin, you punk ass bitch.
In 2017, we were literally at City Hall so often. I was like, oh yeah, we need to like set up. Y'all know that little red, like they have that little red room next to the elevators. I was literally about to set up an office in that little area because we was there so often.
It's so, yeah. Outside of grants, the gatekeepers of the cities that have access to funding, they also do not prioritize Black-led time. They waste our time. Councilmember Mosqueda, you get a special mention. Teresa Mosqueda, you wasted our fucking time. All of 2017, 2018, and 2019 were all opportunities for Councilmember Mosqueda to, she promised us. We helped her do some legislation, get some shit passed for
use of empty parcels in the city.
Yes, that. In exchange, Councilmember Mosqueda was supposed to take our budget to a funding meeting where they discussed the budget, and she was gonna get funding for AFH. That's what she told us. She promised us, and this was in fucking 2018. She said that.
Yeah, we were going to be funded for 2019.
Yeah, we were gonna be through her.
More recently, my time has been wasted. She did not.
She didn't get funding. She never reached out. We know she had a baby. We know all this other shit happened. But every single time we reached out to this woman for her to hold her end of the deal, she did not reach back out.
Or her staff.
As recent as 2020, we went to a meeting. Who was that woman that I spoke with? One of her staff members.
It was at the MLK.
At the little thing where they were honoring Larry Gossett. Was that what it was?
It was a Seattle council meeting.
Either way, in 2020, she had opportunity to hold up her end of the deal and actually provide some funding, and the bitch still didn't. So, Teresa Mosqueda, thanks for wasting our goddamn time. Please don't do it to other Black-led organizations in the future. King County and City of Seattle, they stay wasting black-led organizing time. Not even with grants. Like, they just stay wasting our time with a whole bunch of shit. They want us to do emotional labor for them. Yeah. We're not with it.
They always have, like, some conversation where they want you to come and tell them, like, how to do their job for free.
Right. And then they also still don't do it.
Oh, Lord. But, I mean, on the flip side, now that y'all have heard a fraction of the bullshit that we've gone through in the past 3 years, I do want to take a moment to shout out like one institution that I've actually had some positive experiences with. And hell, this might even be a part of King County. So it's like, you might be doing one part right. And that's Healthier Here. Like Healthier Here, I've had experiences with, whether it was like trying to, you know, survey for more holistic healthcare. They've come through with, organizing. They funded some of our work, that is Black led for our communities, that are most at risk to homelessness. They seem to understand, or at least have a concept of what homelessness prevention is, whilst other folks don't have an idea what homelessness prevention is, and it's not a funding priority for them, and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So I do want to say that, you know, there is a silver lining out there.
There are institutions that actually are giving to Black-led organizations, and Seattle Foundation needs to become one of them.
It does.
Seattle Foundation, you need to give more money to Black-led organizations, not just organizations that claim to be equity-focused.
And King
Their
County.
Outcomes need to match that. King County, you need to give to Black-led organizations. Seattle Foundation, you need to give to Black-led organizations. City of Seattle, give to Black-led organizations.
Hell, United Way of King County.
United Way of King County, give to Black-led organizations. Y'all got hella fucking money.
All home. Give to Black-led organizations, all home. Y'all got money.
Everybody who got money, any white-led institution with money, give money to Black-led organizations.
Starbucks. Who else in Seattle? Give money to Black people. Starbucks. Starbucks. Amazon.
Amazon, you need to give hella money. Okay. So anyways, yes, in conclusion, Seattle Foundation fucking up. They need to stop giving to the police department. We don't want them to have any funds. They're not doing anything for our community. They're violent to our community. They terrorize our community. Stop doing that shit.
Yeah, and grant writers, gatekeepers, whoever you are, especially if you're not Black.
Especially if your name is Sarah, Tony, or Elizabeth, who works for King County. Stop wasting our goddamn time and give to Black-led organizations.
Period. Black-led organizations shouldn't have to prove to you that we know how to serve our community. We are our community.
And that is all for Just Look. And stay tuned because we have more coming, y'all.
Yeah.